Runaway robot.
So so
You'll
Rel
get that
apparently just
camera.
smelled a smelly smell that was smelly from his vent, but he's back now. So I guess everyone good?
Roll for
Everyone
house
good?
I guess
exploding.
so.
Okay, cool.
Weird.
Welcome back, guys,
Get
to
House takes 6
part
damage.
2 of episode 41 of DieFall: The Aspects. Welcome back. All right, so the party kind of comes back together, and you guys are in the swiftly erected tent city that the war band has put together. What would you like to do?
I want to have a conversation with Darien, but
I feel
like
like
a
I
sidebar?
want to
following.
relay everything to each other though first.
Sure, yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, so Miara, you get filled in on what happened with the giant primordial elemental, and you fill in everyone on what the druids' plans are currently for Tasir. Yeah. So now, what would you like to do?
You're telling me that you decided to lead this monster back to the spine, where it's hungry and possibly going to eat every civilization that is living on those mountains.
drama much? Wow.
Is that what you're telling me right
in
now?
this group?
I mean,
Innocent lives being killed isn't exactly an overreaction. I mean, we're supposed to be heroes.
I considered the possibility that it would arrive at a populated center, but it's a very large mountain range. Odds are it's just going to come across an uninhabited part of it, and we'll just be able to disembark, go through the mountains to the south, and be out of here. And then it will perhaps settle down.
Well, we have to be prepared for something to do something in case if it destroys the orc camps. You can say goodbye to any allies that you wanted to have in reviving Erdrick, and you can say goodbye to Erdrick if it goes to Erdrick. There's no land to save.
300 years ago, there will be stories told of the of the beast masters that led the giant world tortoise to Troy.
Well, I'm calling him Great Atuin, so there.
Well, I'm just working on the hope that over the course of this journey, I can go and talk to it every day and get some kind of rapport going here.
Yeah, we can possibly just convince him to, eat and then settle down for a nap.
It doesn't appear to want to eat the people. So if we can just educate this creature to not step on the people, just nibble the mountains off to the side, then we could be okay here.
If you can persuade it to not eat civilizations, then yes, that would be helpful.
Well, it's already shown a tendency to be open to suggestion from us. So if we're respectful and kind towards it, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't cooperate. It appears to bear no ill will towards us or any other creature. So long as it feeds, we should be fine.
I just want to draw attention to the fact that you started the conversation with it, telling it to stop fucking moving. We need to be respectful.
It was a moment I was hanging from a goddamn rock.
I didn't want to bring it up, but since Darien did.
No, Darien did.
Oh,
That was
look.
Rob. I'm sorry.
It's another
I didn't understand what he-
Hathol moment.
All right.
GG.
Anyway.
And everyone says, I talk too much. Well, just practice shutting up. Are we nearly there?
Where's
Yeah.
there?
Aren't we going toward Ital and the wherever
That
she
was up
is?
to you guys. You didn't say anything about
This
that
is-
yet.
this
is
where we started.
wanted to speak with Darien.
Yeah, and Hathel wanted a sidebar, so
Okay.
we're gonna do that.
I thought we were doing that on the move.
No, you
Sorry.
guys like
No.
conglomerated together.
I'll
And-
talk to Darien later. I had tried to interject a couple of times to have a conversation with him while we were walking back.
Oh,
okay.
As
I'm
we're
sorry.
now like all together, we'll carry on with what
Oh,
we're doing.
okay.
I'll talk to him later.
Okay.
Sorry about
But
that.
Hathel's also somewhat pissed off that he once again appears to be being blamed for everything, so he's probably going to sulk for a while.
I'm just concerned is all. That's
Hey,
it.
look, the decision to guide him south was not just mine. I was discussing with the other two.
I'm yelling at all three of you.
I couldn't hear anything. Loud big turtle.
I didn't say anything to it. I don't speak rock.
Regardless,
Oh my god.
as long as everybody is safe and we can convince him otherwise, I will be happy. I don't want to have to fight a giant sand turtle just to try to save the lives of our homes.
I don't think there'll be a fight.
There won't be.
And then
No.
Ignis just looks down at the ground, looks at his spear, and just shrugs.
It'll be a slaughter.
Well, yeah, like I said, all he really has to do is roll over.
So what's the situation with the girl, Miara?
The druids said they would form a circle to see what they could do, but they want to finish examining the interior. They wanted my help to try to figure out what the mural meant and really what it was all about. And I couldn't give them any more information than that it was a door and a riddle to a door. You might be able to get a better glance at it and be able to understand it more. You're more intelligent than I.
And it may be a prime time to get into their good graces. You're essentially teaching them the history of their people, Hathol.
I agree.
I can try. If they'll even entertain me. I do not wish to ruffle any feathers. I don't wish to step inside the tomb without being invited. I don't wish to see Ital without being invited. It's for now. It's best that I maintain wary distance. Have you guys communicate on my behalf, and hope that with some time and the understanding that I'm helping quietly in the background, that my favor may be restored somewhat.
Darien and I might be able to convince Ital to let you examine the mural a bit more and help the druids out. But we'll have to talk to her together, and probably without you and Ignis around.
Well,
I'll
step
be
one
staying
was
away.
getting Ignis to the artifact, and I managed to do that. So I think that should that go well, I don't see why that wouldn't be possible.
I don't think it would be that hard to convince her either.
hmm Well,
All right.
speaking of the relic, my lord, do you have everything you need to conduct your examination?
I have my brain and my skills. That's all I need.
Fair enough. Shall we?
We shall.
Yeah. So you guys go find Ital to go see the relic.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just gonna find a quiet spot to meditate in while they do this.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the hustle and bustle of the little tent city here, but if you go closer to the city wall, or the actual buildings of the city and whatever, you can find a secluded area if you'd like. Miara, what are you up to?
I'm gonna go with Darien, I think.
Okay, still cradling a small gnome girl.
Yeah, I think I'm
Hand
gonna
over there.
just hold on to her, make sure that she's okay.
Yep. So you guys head over to Ital. She sees you approach. It looks like she's overseeing the tent city construction here, and she nods as you approach. Paladin.
Ital. Hello. I have brought my lord to take any of your guard that you wish to go with us and examine the artifact.
You will be coming as well?
Yes, I think it may be best.
All right. She says something out in Hobgoblin, and like a group of 4 of these Hobgoblins come over, and she says something, and she says, they will escort you to the relic. And, they, like 2 of them go in front and 2 of them are behind you, and you can follow them.
Okay. Yep, I'll do that.
Yep. So they lead you towards the the dilapidated ancient city, and there seems to be some sort of some kind of setup in one of these buildings where some of the druids have taken roost here. They have some books on them, but like in the middle of the table, kind of lying in what seems to be like a woven basket is the relic. And they're examining it and looking at the texts in front of them. But they do look up as you enter. Yeah, and one of them in somewhat broken common. Hathol said you would come. Come. Which of you is the smart one?
That would be him.
I'll just raise my hand quietly.
He looks down. He goes, ah. Okay. Examine. We will leave you to it. They close their books. The other two follow him, and they leave the room.
All right.
The hobgoblins come in, and they each take up stations on the corners of the room. They look a little bit bored, but they're watching you.
Okay, I'll pick up the orb and just start examining it.
Yeah, sure. So you pick up the orb, and just as before, you feel this it's like a light breeze goes across your body, and it feels comforting. You feel calm. And again, it's roughly for Ignis, your hands are gonna be holding it like this, right? Like it's bigger than your head. And it's just you're gonna hold it like this, and you look it over, and again, as you looked at it before, there seems to be these runes and markings all over it. So yeah, what would you like to do here?
Well, are they just magical runes or of any particular language?
So your initial examination, you did not necessarily recognize what it was. Hathol did get a clue on it with his Arcana check last time. Hathol, I don't know if you told them what you felt for. I remember you saying that it is indeed a magical artifact, holding great power, but I don't remember if you had told them or had figured out what the language was on there, other than that it matched the language that was on the monolith.
No, I don't think I don't remember figuring that out. If I did, I didn't write it down.
Sure, that's fine. That just gives us a basis here. So yeah, so you want to start with the language, Rel. Is that right, Ignis?
Yeah.
Okay, so you may have seen this at some point before in a book somewhere. Roll me a history check.
Come on.
It seems to be just outside your grasp. Either you the book you had read is so far gone from your memory, or you didn't find it important enough to continue pursuing. The language is somewhat lost to you.
All right. I'll just try doing the identify ritual.
Yeah, so you take the next 10 minutes and do you just place it on a table and do the ritual circle around it and stuff like that? Yeah, so you place it on the table and you pull out from your pockets or whatever. You have some chalk and you start writing out the ritual spell and the circle around it to try and identify it. So it takes the next 10 minutes. And you focus down on it. All you're getting here is, because it is a magical spell, it seems that your magic isn't necessarily powerful enough to figure out the true nature of whatever this object is, but you are able to garner the following. The language is draconic in nature.
Okay.
You're not super, again, you don't know Draconic, so it's hard to figure out what it says. But you do figure out that it is Draconic. As you continue to spend time with this, though, and as you're examining this, Darien and Miera, can you make me a perception check, please?
Mm-hmm.
Will do.
6
Badly.
Miera, 18 Darien. Darien, I think Miara is probably still a little bit preoccupied with holding the gnome girl and whatever, and caring for her.
Mm-hmm.
Darien, your lord has, ever since he took the curse and that puncture wound from that being, has always looked paler, more sallow. But as he's spending time with this orb, you see color return to his cheeks. See some of the blackening of the veins that had crawled up towards his neck start to recede.
I'm just gonna keep examining it. I'm assuming I'm just too into my work. I'm not really paying attention to my physical condition.
Yeah.
I think
Did Darien make
I
that
think-
noise out loud?
no.
That would be awesome if he did that.
I think I'll lightly nudge Miara and gesture to Ignis and just say, "Is it just me, or is he looking decidedly less cursed?"
I'll take like a good look at him because I couldn't see anything initially.
Yeah. You like walk over to him.
Yes. I think I see what you mean.
I don't want to interrupt his work, but
Let him continue. Whatever needs to happen will happen.
I thought it strange that ever since my encounter with fate, there's been this feeling in the back of my skull, and right when we came upon that beast in that chamber, I felt like I felt like fate was trying to tell me
Mhm.
that his end of the bargain was done. And I had asked him to help cure Ignis, so maybe he was the one that led us to that artifact. Unfortunately, in turn, it was also that vile creature, but
We had to take our chances either way. Luckily, we prevailed. But
I think this is the answer to his curse.
we can only hope. Let's just
Sure.
hope that it's not a temporary fix and it's something a little more permanent.
I have faith that the city of Erdrick will soon see its duke in perfect health.
We'll see to that.
All right. So while they're talking, I'm just continuing the examination, just kind of shaking it, shifting it. Maybe try Kamehameha.
Don't blow it up!
It's like that scene in Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire where he was like can't figure out how to shoot the web and he's doing all the different
Fly.
hand signals.
Yeah. So you're examining. So the entire party, if you check your Roll20 journals, I dropped the notes that you currently know of the relic in your handouts.
Golly.
So it's not a whole lot. Ignis, you feel upon completion of this and figuring out the language, it feels like whatever this thing is so much greater than the parts that your spell can get to. It seems to be beyond your mortal realm of magic.
I think this is something divine. Let's see. I'm trying to find a list of the aspects. There we go. Can I make like a history or arcana or some sort of check that might pin this artifact to a particular aspect? Like what would it most match? Or who would it most match?
Sure, yeah. For that, that's tough. I think because you want to, my gut tells me religion check, but because you're just trying to match like what you know of them, and that's pretty much intelligence. If you want to make it an arcana check, I think that's okay.
All right. I mean, looking down the list, I feel like it's Lithier, but let's see what Ignis knows. Arcana. He knows everything.
He knows what he knows. So yeah, so you're like, I wonder. This seems to be beyond my realm. If it's religious in nature, also for you guys that are just listening, he had a 26 on the Arcana. The Draconic is throwing you off. From what you know about the aspects, which isn't, to be fair, isn't terribly much, right? You've never really taken a shine to figuring out like a lot of the religions and things like that. The Draconic's throwing you off a little bit. But the feeling of calm, the wind that every time you pick it up, it's like it seems related to Voss in some way.
Where's Voss?
It's the aspect of
So
Okay.
Voss is the
Yeah, I know.
aspect of
I was
wind.
trying to find it on the list. Okay. Seems to be an object of Voss.
I suppose that would make sense, given the gusts of wind and the force that's associated with things like the Trader's Blade. And didn't the mural say something about it said something about wind, right?
I would need a DM reminder. I cannot remember those details.
I'm trying to
Yeah, I mean,
remember
Ignis,
what
you're smart enough to like remember stuff, just pretty much in general. Yeah, I mean, the mural itself had, you know, the war on it, and what you guys had figured out was like one of the storm giants in the sky was most likely a representation of Voss.
Oh yeah. So then, what was the rest of the details of the mural? The hobgoblins were fighting Voss.
Yeah. So what you remember is that there was like these on the right side there was all these storm giants and stuff like that, all outfitted for battle, and then in the sky, what you guys had assumed was Voss, the largest of them all, like hurling lightning downwards. And on the left hand side was all of these like heavily armored and armed hobgoblins, some of them brandishing swords. And then in the sky was a hobgoblin riding a dragon. And you had found that inscribed on the blade of the hobgoblin on the dragon, it said, in hobgoblin, it was named Feather, which is what helped you with the figuring out the riddle.
Well, just makes things even more interesting. The hobgoblins were fighting Voss. There was the traitor led a rebellion against Voss. Then the rest of the hobgoblin tribes sealed this away, and the only key would be the traitor's sword, which none of them would ever touch. I'm just gonna very cautiously look up to this guy. Voss?
My lord, I don't think that's going to work.
Worth a shot.
Yeah, you don't hear a response.
Could Voss be one of the masters that this turtle was talking about?
Yes, the storm giants. He said his masters were giants.
Well, the aspects could have appeared in those forms or had a champion in one of those forms.
And on top of that, you did say that it was millennia ago that this creature last fell asleep, and the only thing that I could think of that would last millennia or live millennia would be the aspects.
And while they're talking about this, I'm still examining the orb, trying to think of anything I know about Draconic. And I know I don't speak the language, but it's like, okay, how could this possibly?
What sticks out to you? Actually, you know what? Roll me just a flat intelligence check. Let's see if you can piece together parts of these puzzles.
That's a saving throw. That's an intelligence check.
14. Something is sticking out to you here. There's Draconic all over the monolith. There's Draconic all over this orb. And there's only been one representation of a dragon that you've seen anywhere near any of the hobgoblin things. And it's just the one on the mural.
Could it be that the dragons were trying to seal Voss's power away? I'm gonna... Well, I was gonna turn to address the guards. I'm gonna turn to address Darien. Can you ask Ital if we can take the orb down into the tomb and see if, and because I want to try and cross-reference the runes on this with the ones on the door and see if there's any correlation or see if they would help translate.
Yes, yeah, I will. I'll do that. My lord, how are you feeling?
Fine. Rather excited, in fact. I haven't had an opportunity to examine an ancient, possibly of the gods, ever. And if it can also help unlock the ancient history of a noble people, he says, kind of eyeing the cards.
Nailed
Then
it.
so much the better.
I have hobgoblin friends.
Oh my god.
How is the wound at your side?
Yeah,
What?
I want
What
to.
wound? Oh yes, that I've
I
sometimes
want
forget
to
about it.
step forward and just, if I
Just
may,
raise my shirt.
and
No,
yeah, I'll help you.
I'll get it. I'll get it. It's just
Well, I thought you were still
slap that way.
holding the thing.
Well, no, I can hold it in one
Okay.
hand.
Okay.
And just
No,
lift up my
barely.
shirt.
I don't know if
It's
you
it's
can.
very large.
Don't drop
Yeah.
it.
I'll do
For
do
your
like
hand,
the
it's very
do like
large.
the holding a beach ball type thing.
Sure, yeah. And you
Okay.
like you and you take a look underneath. You ever since the curse had been laid on you, you never felt bad. You never felt like your flesh was decaying on your body every day. You never felt that. But it always looked terrible. But right now, you like poke around and blackness has receded backwards from where you've seen it recently, like the last time you took off your armor or something. You're like, huh, that's interesting.
Huh. Seems better. Maybe Karis got bored.
I think the answer is that relic. If it is indeed a Voss, then maybe the key is in the aspects. We weren't trying the right one.
Yes, but when? I mean, I'm not going to question it. Just
I-
could you find Ital, and I want to continue examining this thing.
Please do. It seems like it's doing wonders for your curse.
Mhm.
Or
I'll
it could
go
just be
find
good diet and
Ital.
exercise.
Sure.
Good diet out here. Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. The weird hallucinogenic cacti we ate.
Hey, you never
I
know.
forgot about those.
If we smoked it, it
I
could cure glaucoma.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Coma.
Cars coma. Light it up. All right, yeah. So Darien, you exit and you try to go find Ital.
Yeah.
Sure. While we do this, we take a brief step away here. Hathol, you've been meditating for a while. What are you like? What is your? Are you just resting, or do you have like a goal with what you're doing here?
So it's just it kind of mirrors what I'm actually doing while I'm sitting here, which is just trying to piece together things. The funny thing is, I actually scribbled down on my piece of paper in front of me about 5 minutes before you mentioned it that actually I think this was an orb of Vast because of the breeze that I felt when I picked it up, and then it kind of connected that with the mural. And Hathol was thinking that maybe Vast himself hid the relic here.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just generally trying to. It's a lot of thinking about the aspects in general.
Sure. Yeah.
That's going on right now.
Okay. Is there anything you want to do, or you want to stay in your kind of meditative state here?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay. Hoping I'm just gonna wait for the party to return to me at some point, because I have things that I will discuss with them when we meet up again.
Sure.
But I'm not gonna actively search for them because Hathol is nervous right now. You know, he's really keen to start rebuilding some favor with the hobgoblins here, and like he just gets that feeling that any wrong step is just going to put him back to square zero. So I'm just going to wait for the party to find me, and yeah, we'll deal with it then.
Yeah, I mean, as you're like kind of over off to the side, you do see Darien walk, kind of because you're sitting up next to like some of the old buildings of the city. You see Darien walk out of the city and towards the new tent structures that have been set up. So he walks past you and heads over towards Etal. If you wanted to catch him here, you could do that, or you can let him go.
Yeah, no, I'll if I see him, I'll run over and walk with him for the time being.
Yeah. So you watch him exit the city, and you kind of trot on over and match step with him.
Darien, I've been thinking. My mind's been all abuzz right now. This orb, I don't know if this may help you, but this orb may be related somewhat to the aspect Vas, I was thinking.
Yes, I think you're correct. Ignis was just examining it, and I feel like you guys are both on the same path of discovery, just whereas yours is a path of reverence, his is a path of pure science, and you two are very brilliant.
Yeah, maybe with better teamwork, we could be quite the combination here. It's a very interesting thought if the relic is indeed forged by, created by Vas. With the mural depicting him in battle, I consider maybe he hid the relic here himself to keep it safe. It's troubling to me that Dravani would be trying to steal relics which are under the jurisdiction of other aspects. Obviously, from my dealings with her, it's well within her personality type to behave that way. The petulant child attempting to take all the toys for herself, as it were. I'm glad I never presented the relic to her.
Yeah, from what you described, she's trying to maybe war for power of other aspects.
Darien, how many aspects are you aware of?
Let me
Just a few
or
let me go count.
Yeah, you know the whole list, right? You're religious.
Yeah. Do all our characters know the whole list, or is?
Generally, yes.
Okay.
Because they're pretty widespread in most of all of the cultures.
Okay.
Again, some are larger than others in various areas, or you might not care about some of them.
Okay.
I studied in my studies. I did read about just about all in the commonly known pantheon. I'm sure there are powers out there and beings out there that have different names, maybe that we may not know, that may not appear in history books, but the aspects are known to me.
As I've been meditating on the nature of all the various aspects and the historical truth of the warring that's gone on between them, the constant back and forth. But I can't help but feel that the aspects should be more in balance rather than at conflict all the time. Although it appears that their natures are opposing one another, in fact, the more that you contemplate it, they're actually more complementary than you might think.
They are. No, I absolutely agree. I don't think it's for us as mortals to understand why they do the things they do, but it's true that their power exists in this world and informs different parts of this world, different domains of this world. Nature, storms, earth, wind, fire, all of that.
Do you
Life and death. Yes, thank you. But I don't think it's for us to understand why they interact the way they do, but just that it it works for whatever reason.
Darien, have you ever heard of another mortal like Miara and I who will have come face to face with aspects?
I mean, there's the tales we learn as children of great heroes that were given the powers of gods to wield in their hands, and I'm sure those are maybe based in fact at least a little bit, but admittedly it is very bizarre the connections that we have with these aspects.
I appreciate your wisdom.
It's no more than just my life studies. It's just what I've picked up along the way. Which actually brings up a good point. I understand Druvani, your encounter with her was something I'm sure you'll never forget, and for lack of a better word, earth-shattering, but are you positive that renouncing your faith is the right way to go? You and I may follow different aspects, but religion is religion and faith is faith.
This is my problem. This is my dilemma right now, in that I can see merit in the nature of every aspect and not just one anymore. Destruction has its place and at times is necessary, but devoting yourself solely to the cause of destruction in this world is not conducive to anything. I wish to embrace the teachings of all the aspects and to find balance between them.
Have you ever considered, similar to how you described the aspects as all having their own domains and their own ambitions, and they all war with each other, or there's power struggles or whatever, but there's a greater balance if you pull back from that? Doesn't it stand to reason that mortals are like that? That we are meant to follow different devotions, that we are meant to, you are meant to spend your life devoted to one, and I am meant to spend my life devoted to another, and in turn each aspect has followers, and we all serve to balance the world. I don't think it's a bad thing to want to seek more knowledge. I think more knowledge is important.
But is not the single-minded devotion to one cause and one cause alone not the basis for all war and all suffering in this mortal plane? All right, you and I may not conflict over the basis of the teachings from two differing aspects, but just look at the hobgoblins. At one time, I'm sure when Adis was founded, they were a united people. Now they're split into many septs who fight constantly. Could not a balance be found to bring peace? I feel like this could happen. This should happen with the aspects as well. Consider death as the chief aspect, life as the queen. She is the wife of death. Two completely opposing ideals in a marriage right there.
But in their union, balance is struck.
Exactly.
As a follower of Alis, I don't discount Druvani or Voss or what have you. But you're right. I do devote my life and draw my abilities from one aspect. It's interesting. I think what's that?
I do not wish to draw my power from one aspect alone, but from the cosmos around me.
Well, I think it's a wise goal to seek more knowledge and to consider all aspects. I don't know if it's possible to draw your power from everything, but who's to say just because it hasn't been done doesn't mean it can't be done.
I agree.
I think that as long as your cause is just and you're not doing it for personal gain and yet but rather for wisdom and knowledge and to better society as a whole, I support that.
Thank you. You have given me a lot to think about, and I found it very helpful.
You as
Now
well.
go. Speak to Ital and tell her that I helped.
And
No,
there's the
you
selfishness.
end things like that. I can't help but think you're just buttering me up.
No, I speak from the heart, Darien. But I regret sincerely the damage I caused to my relationship with Ital. And while I feel it's best that I don't see her face to face right now, I would appreciate if she could at least be aware of me providing assistance in this situation. I speak not out of selfishness for my own gain, but to rebuild a relationship which I once and still do treasure.
Well, I can't speak for her, but from my interactions with her, I don't think that is impossible.
Thank you.
I think you're on your way. And I make sure every time I interact with her, I let her know that the party as a whole had a hand in everything. And I speak on behalf of all of us, my friends.
I appreciate it.
I'll leave you to it.
Cool. That was awesome. If you guys don't already have it, take inspiration.
Titty.
All right, Rob, you can remove your inspiration. No, cool.
The Lord giveth, the Joel taketh away.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Hathol, do you go with him all the way to Ital, or do you wait?
No, I'll maintain a respectful distance.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Darien, you make your way to Ital. He sees you approach. Paladin, how goes the research?
It's fascinating to say the least, Ital. We have reason to believe it's related to Voss, and Hathol has been meditating as well, separate from the investigations and the experiments, and I believe he has come to the same conclusion. Whatever is there anything in your people's history that you're aware of that Voss is strongly tied to?
There are stories that our people, which they still do, we follow the ways of Voss. We hold some aspects in higher regard than others, as is just our way for what we value. War, the wind that always changes the land. Some of these things we value more. Our druids, some of them draw their power directly from him. Are you saying that this relic is his?
I believe so. It seems his power emanates from it. And it even went so far as to, I'm not sure if this has come up or you're aware of it, but Ignas was, the short one, was touched by a curse in our travels, and this relic seems to be curing it, reducing its effects. I can't be sure yet, but this may do good things for your people. There may be a reason that it had a home in Adis, rather.
Hmm. From what my druids tell me, the monolith has served as some sort of seal,
Mm-hmm.
something that kept the relic's immense magical power locked in. They believe that the removal of the object has awakened.
Sorry. Had a slight
Awakened.
emergency.
It's okay. Everything all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. They believe the monolith was serving as a seal that kept the wandering city asleep. We see no other reason for why the elemental has awoken now and wanders the land. So, the last day it has been going west, and yet now it seems to be moving southward. There was a time where it stopped moving, and yet we have not felt that yet in the middle of the day. It only seems to stop at night. You have any ideas on what that would be?
Hathol found a way to communicate with the beast, and that was another thing that I had come here to offer you. He can help you speak to it if there needs to, if you need to direct it in any way to maybe prevent any civilizations from being caught up in its wake, or if there's anything that you need to communicate with it, or your druids. I mean, this beast is just as much a part of Adis as you all are. I mean, it is Adis.
It
You
seems
have a
I
means to
must
communicate with it.
make my apologies to Hathol at some point. That is very useful.
Well,
A being this size with this much power could walk it directly into the desolation and end every Gnoll's life. You've given me much to think about.
frankly, apologies need to be made on both ends. And
No, I believe the shame is mine for not knowing the history of my own people and overreacting when being called out on it. Hathol has never meant us ill here, and he's only ever helped us. I will make it up to him. Thank him for me. I will speak with him eventually. But with this knowledge, I will have need of him. We must turn this beast around, take it to the desolation.
very well. Darien is going to walk away and go back to the party.
Sure. Yeah. So Hathol, you see Darien like going back towards the city. If you wanted to catch up with him, or you can just let him go by.
No, I'll head back with him. It's fine.
Yeah. So you go with them go with him to the relic where they're examining it. Hathol, is that what you meant?
I'll walk with him. I'm still unsure if I'm welcome where the relic is, so I may hold back once he heads into the. Is the relic still in the tomb?
No. The relic is in a
No,
building
yeah.
in the city.
Okay,
They had
I'll
moved it.
I'll remain outside the building and wait for the group. Just try to be respectful.
Yeah. There's a couple of hobgoblins standing outside, and they both just give you looks. But Darien is passes through without being.
Do I know either of them? Because I know a few of the hobgoblins.
You know some of them here,
other than Ital.
Yeah. Let's say you probably know one of them. His name is Amsug. He's a little bit shorter, thicker for a hobgoblin. He has black hair, softer gray eyes. His hair he keeps in a short cropped mohawk. He has a bunch of javelins at his side, in his in his case, and a horn bow strapped across his back. And he looks at you and nods, but he doesn't address you.
Hey, Amso, how's it going?
He kind of shakes his head and he smiles a little bit. He's like, "You've made a lot of noise, my friend."
Some things never change, hey?
Rocking the whole city this time, not just the battlefield.
Yes, it's a little more of an impact than I'd intended to have this time round, for sure.
It is always interesting when you show up, sorcerer.
I'm a warlock. Why can you? I mean, I love you guys, but why can you not remember that I'm a warlock?
Oh, do you actually tell him that?
Yeah.
He looks at you and goes, "Magic is magic. You are a sorcerer. You are not a druid. You are a sorcerer."
It's a somewhat two-dimensional way of thinking about it, but let's not argue.
Yeah. You both die the same on the end of my spear. And he smiles.
Oh, how you jest, Amsuk. It's good to see you again.
It is good to see you too, my friend. I apologize that I may not allow you inside. Strict orders from Ital at the moment that you would probably not even be over here.
I understand. I shall remain outside.
That is fine. And he kind of just leans up against the wall. Yeah, so Darien, you wander inside, and I'm assuming Ignas has just been, doing the thing, continually looking at it. Yeah, what have you guys been doing while Darien's been gone?
Research takes time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still waiting to hear back from him, so I'll just continue inspecting it.
Sure. Yeah. So Darien, you come in. What would you like to do? Say anything? Do anything?
No, I think I'm just watching Ignas.
Sure. That all being said, you guys are you're just kind of hanging out for the moment. So Ignas, people seem to be waiting on whatever you're doing here. So what would you like to do?
Oh, I was just waiting for Darien to come back.
Well, he's here, and he's just standing there watching you.
Oh, so can we go in?
Yes, yeah. Yes.
Well, let's do it then. No,
Are there
also,
guards in the room with us?
Yeah, the same 4 that had led
Yeah.
you there are inside.
Okay.
so just look at them. Can we go? Can we take? Are you guys? I'm assuming you guys are coming with us.
They kind of like half look at you. Doesn't seem they understand common.
If only this could be the orb of languages. I had a plan, a blueprint, a diagram for a cap of languages, but I lost them. Once we get back to Erdrick, I'll have to see if I can find them again.
Okay. So do you just want to try to leave the room with the relic?
No, that seems like a bad idea.
Up to you, bud.
Well, let's see. I wouldn't ask to get Hathol in here. I'll try and, since they don't seem to understand, I'll try and gesture, point to them, and then just kind of and me and just all of us, we go to the temple. I'm just trying to do a performance check, I guess.
Yeah. So and I'll make it a slightly easier on you. Hathol, from outside, you hear Ignas trying to communicate with some of these hobgoblins, and it's not going well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to step in and figure it out for him?
I'm not going to attempt to go in the room, but maybe I could translate I've been shouting a lot today. Maybe I can just shout through the wall.
No, I mean you hear him. Amsug's just kind of like looking at the door, and then he kind of looks back over to you, and then sits there. I mean, you can address them, tell them what's going on.
Yeah, I'll literally just translate what I heard Ignas trying to say.
Yeah. So you tell Amsug that Ignis wants to leave the room. Ignis with the relic. Is that what your specification is?
Well, yeah, I was saying that I wanted to take the relic and I guess everyone and go down to the antechamber in is it a temple burial site? What do I call it?
It's a tomb.
The tomb. Yeah.
Tomb. Okay, good.
The
And
tomb.
like just go all down to the tomb together because you've given us permission.
Sure. Yeah. So you say all of this, and Hathol, you relay all the information. Amsug just kind of looks at you and then shrugs. He walks inside and he says some things in Hobgoblin to the other guards, and they kind of form up around you, and you can exit the building.
All right, let's go.
Yep. Amsug walks out front first, and he looks over at Hathol and goes, "Well, my friend, we are moving the orb. Please keep your distance." And he kind of smiles at you.
No problem. I'll just wander away a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So like
But
you can
craning my neck though, just trying to glimpse of the thing, like.
Yeah.
Daddy misses you.
You see them walk out. So with the guards that had escorted you here, as well as the 2 that were in the front. So 6 of them, and you 4. You make your way over to the tomb. Excuse me, 5, because the small gnome girl is still here. Yeah. So you guys make your way over to the tombs, holding the relic. Yeah. So you make your way inside.
Yep. Let's go.
I'm again going to stay at the entrance to the tomb. I'm not going in there without express permission from
Sure.
Hathol.
Okay.
So as I recall, last time we did open the door, and we don't have to open it again. The door.
The
in the
door
antechamber.
has remained open.
Okay.
Because Darien went and opened it for them.
Right. I vaguely remember that. Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right. Then I'll just head in. I'm assuming I'm still carrying the orb, just kind of.
I mean, yeah, it's like you're like holding it like this and like carrying it in with you.
All right. And just kind of walking while looking at it, just like somebody with their phone. Like, okay.
Sure.
And just hoping not to get hit by a car.
Uh-huh. Yeah, avoiding the other tomb traps that are still here, apparently, while looking down at your phone. Yeah. I mean, you make your way to the antechamber easily enough. You see Miera, a similar sight from what you had seen earlier, that there's these druids that are still examining things and talking to each other. And there seems to be some guards around. So you walk in with your retinue, and the druids kind of turn around and look and see the orb being walked in. One of the druids turns and comes over to you. Miera, it's the same one that you had spoken to previously. And he comes over and he goes, "You bring the artifact here. What are you doing?" And he like looks down at you, and then he looks up at Miera, because you're the only one that he's seen here before. Elf, what is happening?
These are my compatriots. We think we might have an idea of what this orb might do. The small one wishes to run some experiments.
Small one, really?
That's
You
how they
have
know
the-
you,
Express permission of Vital for these experiments?
Darien.
She gave us a blessing to do what we must with the orb. I can double check with her that the bringing it down here was okay, but she seemed content with what we were doing previously.
He looks at you and looks. He says something to one of the guards, one of your escorts, in Hobgoblin, and he runs off out of the room there. He goes, "For the moment, it's okay. Vital will be here soon, but proceed, I suppose."
Ignis, you might want to inform them about what you've learned from the orb. They're looking for solutions and they're looking for answers as well, especially with the mural.
Mm.
Well, I mean, all we know so far is that it's a relic of Voss, and the language inscribed on it is Draconic. I don't know if you know of any, and I'm addressing this to the druid. I don't know if you know of any history of your people, dragons or dragonborn.
He looks at you and he kind of shakes his head a little bit. And he goes, "Language of Voss is not Draconic." He gestures over to the mural. "See one dragon here from our past. Legend has Voss had a daughter. Could have been a dragon of some kind."
Could be a lot of things. I look forward to finding out what they are. And I'll take the orb over, comparing the lettering on it with the writing on the mural.
The mural is in Hobgoblin. The orb itself is in Draconic.
Oh, okay. I thought there was something on the mural that would have been at least similar to what was on.
The monolith has Draconic on it.
Oh, the monolith, right? Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Then I'll take it over to the monolith. If anything,
And you've already
matches it.
done a sketching of the monolith as well. You've taken down all of the
Yeah, I believe so.
writing and stuff. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you go over there and you see it and you look at it and it seems to be a similar runic basis.
Do any of the runes on the monolith match what's on the orb?
Yeah, sure, why not? I don't know Draconic, but sure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, is it like an exact match? Like, the same thing
No.
that's on the monolith?
No,
All right.
it is not the exact same thing. The monolith has many more runes than cover the orb itself.
So I don't know if this orb controls whether or not the element sleeps. I suppose we could always put it back, but I'd rather not while it's still moving. But it could be that whoever put it here was trying to seal away Voss or Voss's power, maybe even Voss's daughter.
The druid looks over and he goes, "Not seal Voss away. He is the very air around you."
Yes, but they could have attempted to seal away his power or a significant portion of his power.
He kind of just looks at you. "I do not think that is correct, small one."
It could be his daughter, or it could simply be that Voss left a thing here and they used it to stop the elemental that was potentially ravaging the landscape.
"I do not think this seals away Voss's power, but you do your experiments. We will wait for it all."
All right. And while we're waiting, I'll just inspect the orb and the monolith and the various pillars around it.
Yeah, I mean, the pillars themselves don't necessarily have anything on it. They just look like pillars. The monolith itself, again, has all the same draconic runes that you had marked down previously. The orb has there's an inset up at the top of the monolith where you could set the orb. Miara or anyone else, have you guys followed him into this room?
Yeah.
The monolith
Yeah, I
room?
think we have. Yeah.
Okay. You see now on the side wall that there are spikes and rope set up. And it seems that the spear is not, or the javelin itself is not lodged in the ceiling anymore.
I was about to look up and ask if I saw the javelin.
Yeah,
Still.
no. You see where it impacted the rock, and it has been removed.
Oh, so they managed to get that. Huh.
Crafty.
Yeah, Elos looks at you, the druid. He looks at you. Yes. And he says something in Hobgoblin to someone, and they go trotting out of the room and return in just like a moment later, holding the javelin. They proffer it out to Darien.
Thank you, my friends. I did not think I'd see this again.
He just nods, and Elos, he looks around. He's, yes, good to give that back to you. Is there anything else you need to do, small one, or?
No, not until I have more information.
Okay. I think at this point, Hathol, you're kind of like standing out at the front entrance of the tomb, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
As you're standing there, kind of like looking inside, Ital comes and stands next to you. Goes, Hathol, my friend, how do you fare?
I'm filled with deep regret over the actions of the last few days, but I feel my companions are working well towards helping discover the secrets of the orb.
I hear you have a large hand in that. I thank you.
I've tried to help as much as I could, while remaining a respectful distance from places perhaps I should not go for the time being.
I appreciate that, Hathol. You've always been a friend to my people. I have great shame for reacting the way I did, being accused of not knowing my people's own history is, well, it's hard to hear something that is so correct. We don't know enough. I hear, though, that you've spoken with the beast that we ride upon. Is this correct?
Indeed, I am fluent in the language of the elementals, and I took the opportunity to try and gain some information which may assist us.
What does it want? Where does it go? What information have you gathered?
Right now, it seeks only to feed itself. It has been sleeping for millennia, and it wishes only to satiate its hunger.
Hunger, what? How will it do so?
It was a little bit of a riddle, but I believe it feasts. I mean, being an earth elemental, I believe it's will feast upon the mountains that we will find in the spire once we get there. Spine, sorry.
Feast on the mountains. Well, such a great beast could do that, and that sounds... Well, I know nothing of primordial beings such as this. It sounds correct enough to me. It moves rather swiftly. My second half of my warband that has been escorting us from the ground is having a little trouble keeping up.
I will. I intend to speak with the creature again, and I will attempt to encourage it to perhaps slow down slightly.
No. I would ask you to do something else.
Okay.
Have it turn around. Head east.
I can see what you're thinking, Ital.
You know it must be done. They have been a plague on our people for hundreds of years. Our entire purpose is to keep them from overrunning the rest of the world. We could stop it here, Hathol. With a beast such as this, what would stand in front of us?
Not much would stand in front of us. I agree. However, I feel we need to be cautious with this plan. I will indeed assist you as much as I can. I've always shared your goal of ridding the world of the harbingers of the desolation. But this creature needs to eat. And from what we can gather, it eats mountains. What food source can we expect to entice it with if we were to change course again?
There's stone in the desolation. Null bodies it could feast on. So I know it possibly eats rock. We don't know this for sure. But if we just turn it around, and even if it is hungry, enrage it, let it loose upon the desolation.
I must speak against that idea, Ital. This creature, once enraged, would be nigh on unstoppable. We do not wish that to happen. Not here, not in the desolation.
Hathol, I'm going to have you roll a persuasion check for me, please.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I hate these rolls.
You've been such shit today.
I think it you know Ital.
Mm-hmm.
Her existence has been to rid the gnolls from the world. The amount of pain that you know personally has been brought on her and her family and her people by these creatures is I don't try as you might, I don't know if you'll be able to sway her mind. She looks at you and just shakes her head. She goes, Hathol, it must be done.
Ital, I agree. I agree it must be done, but I beg of you to have patience in this matter. Allow this beast to continue towards the mountains, which we believe is where it will fill its hunger. There may
But
be...
without the promise of food, if it's full, what happens then? Maybe it goes back to sleep for 1,000 years. Opportunity is too great, Hathol. My people have suffered so long.
I'm aware of the suffering of your people, Ital, and I have fought alongside you for my entire adult life here. But we cannot simply control another creature to do as we wish. I will attempt to communicate, to gain some kind of mutual understanding of our cause here with the creature, but I do not wish to force it to do anything. Give me some time.
I don't. Fine. Hathol, fine. But if more of my people die because of your advice here, our friendship is already tenuous. Let this not be a mistake. And she turns and she walks into the tomb. So we get into the tomb and we see it's tall, like we get like a nice little white 2. Ital being in the tomb. She approaches and she looks and goes, all right. What have we learned?
Well, Darien.
The monolith is the only other thing that has the draconic language on it. The mural is written in Hobgoblin. Everything on the statues of the heroes is Hobgoblin. It just seems to be these two, and everybody seems to think that this orb is the key to why the beast laid dormant.
Yes. Is that all that we've figured out then?
My lord, unless I'm missing something.
Well, I have a number of theories, but without more information, I wouldn't be able to say conclusively which of these is most accurate. I would, however, like to try an experiment. Once the beast stops at night, I would like to place the orb back in the monolith and see if it causes the city to sleep again.
Ital.
She like under her voice, she's delay. What would this prove?
It would prove that we have some form of control over the creature.
She looks over to the druids and says something in Hobgoblin. Here's back. He says something to one of the other ones on the other side, and he shrugs. Fine. You will do your experiment then. Tonight.
Okie doke.
But
Is
if this
there
city sleeps forever when you do that, well, we will figure that out in the morning.
would it be possible to speak to your best historians, or are these fine gentlemen, and I gesture to the druids, are they it?
This is what we have here. We are a war band. These are the druids that we take with us when we patrol the desolation. The rest of the 2 stones, Sept is elsewhere. I have sent runners to bring them here to aid us, but it will be a couple days yet before some of our older, wiser druids make it here.
All right. Well, the more knowledge I have, the sooner I will be able to unlock the secrets of this thing.
You've traveled the desert before. It is not swift. They
Or
will be
easy.
here eventually. Yeah. And so she nods and she turns to walk out.
All right. I'm going to let her go and go back to my studies.
Yeah, sure. So you guys are kind of free to do whatever you'd like to do until nighttime, or we can just go ahead and jump to.
I think we should reconvene and kind of discuss the matters at hand, like what everything's been said.
Um, does Ignis still have the orb with him?
He's holding on to it currently.
Miara, do you mind laying Tassir down? And Ignis, my lord, may I place the orb in your sister's hands?
All right. I see where you're going with this.
I can see what this could possibly do. Yes, let's go through with this.
Yeah, the druids around you kind of look quizzically. Eris says something, or Ellis says something in Hobgoblin, and they relax, step back.
All right. I'll
Yeah,
very
so I'd like to do that.
gently place the orb.
Yeah, so she's laying on
on
the
my
ground.
sister.
You like lay her on the ground, and you put the orb, and you like kind of like wrap her arms around it, and you see like some like a breeze that doesn't exist, right? Like kind of blows what's left of her shortish hair. And it just sits. How long would you like to wait?
I'd like to also try to spend 10 points of my healing with lay on hands and try to heal her mind.
Could you channel it through the orb?
You could certainly try.
I have to touch a creature.
That's true.
That's what
You
the
couldn't,
text
like,
says.
one hand on her and one hand on the orb? I mean, I don't know.
I'll try. I mean, Joel, as long as I'm touching her, will it have the full effect?
I mean, if you're touching her, you can use your healing.
Okay.
Touching
Yeah,
the orb. Yeah, you can't translate it through an inanimate object.
No, I'm just
Alright.
saying what he's suggesting is having one hand on her and one hand on the orb,
Yeah,
and
you can do that.
that's not gonna affect it as long as there's a hand on her.
The healing effect will still happen as
Okay.
long as you have a hand on the creature that you're healing.
Yeah, then in that case, sure. I'll rest my other hand on the orb.
Sure, yeah. So you put like your left hand on you kneel down. You put your left hand on the orb, and you feel that breeze and that calming sense come over your body, and then you lay your other hand down on like her arm.
Can I do her forehead?
Yeah, sure. So you place your palm. Your large palm covers almost like the entirety of her head, right? So like you kind of like go back on her head a little bit, and you use your healing, and you watch it suffuse her body. It doesn't seem to wake, but like you see what had already been left of her wounds had already receded from the last time the druids had done any healing to her. But she doesn't wake, but she's still breathing slowly, calmly. Doesn't seem to be in any pain of any kind, or...
Well, it was worth a try.
Yeah.
I don't think we've asked this before, but I'll ask the druids. I don't suppose any of you speak Draconic or know anyone who does.
Yeah, so Elos looks at you and he shakes his head and says, I do not know Draconic. We had some with books that were trying to figure out if they could translate. He says something at Hobgoblin to the other druids gathered around. Most of them shake their heads. And he goes, none gathered here do, but again, like Itala said, the rest of the Two-Stone Sept is coming. Some of our historians, for whatever worth they are, will be here.
All right. I'd like to see those books if possible.
I do not know how much good they will do you. They are written in Hobgoblin.
Hathol? Want to pull an all-nighter with me? Oh, no, wait, he's not here.
I'm not even there.
He's not here. Never mind. Strike that. Then I guess instead I'll just say, all right, I'll see if it would be all right if Hathol can pull an all-nighter with me to translate.
Are you asking the druids that?
Yes.
Oh. Aeolus looks and goes, they are not my books, but I will ask my friends here. It seems that Ital is fine with Hathol looking at some things as long as he is under guard. I see no problem with this.
All right, excellent. Maybe I can make some inroads.
Okay. So what do you guys do now? The orb is still sitting on Lady Tassir as she's laying on the ground.
I think I mainly just want to continue the research, so maybe just find Hathol and take the orb with me.
Okay, yeah. So you guys you scoop her up and you exit. It's definitely like late afternoon now, right? Like the sun is going down. But yeah, you find Hathol waiting outside the tomb.
Hathol, want to pull on an all-nighter with me?
Potentially, but there are things we must talk about first.
I think you're correct. I think we all have things that we need to say, and we need to reconvene.
All right. Should we go back to where they had this placed? I'm not sure what to call it. It's like it was a tent.
Sure.
We could probably put it back. Yes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, where would you like to go? You can go back to the house in the city, or
yeah, back to that particular house in the city.
okay, yeah.
Just because
You
it's
guys head in.
literally the only other place I know of in this city.
Yep, you have your escort. Yeah, you're more than welcome to go there.
All right, let's go.
Yep.
Yeah, you get there. Your retinue's there. Hathol, under close watch, you are allowed inside.
Okay. It's good to be with you guys again. It's been a lonely few hours.
Right.
But I've had a lot of opportunity for deep thought on the issues at hand, and a rather interesting discussion with Ital as well.
It might be best to see if we could have this conversation in private. We could always leave the orb and come back. I don't think it's going anywhere.
I feel privacy would be in order here.
Oh, all right. I'll leave it for now, and I'll just place it back on the table and join the others.
Sure. Yeah. You guys, I guess walk outside for a little bit of privacy.
Yeah, find a quiet spot to sit and discuss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'll
yeah, like let's
also,
say you get some food and some drink out of your packs or whatever, and actually eat for today, and hang out. Yeah.
Also want to take the opportunity to check my wound and see, like, basically what the rate of recovery seems to be.
I mean, it is definitely receded. It looks like now the radius of the blackness for where your skin is about like where it was 3 days in.
Hmm.
So it seems to be recovering rather quickly. But the hole itself is still like, like it always is kind of like weeping that black grossness and whatever. It's still disgusting. But it does seem like it is receding or has been receding.
All right. Well, one night cuddled up to that thing and should be good as new.
We can hope, yes.
Hathol, I am concerned. You said you talked to Ital.
Hmm. Yes, it was productive and not so productive at the same time.
I'm
She,
concerned about her intentions.
indeed, she has always been a very single-minded person. The destruction of the Knoll infestation into this world is her sole aim. It's the sole reason that she exists, really. She has no desire right now other than to turn this beast around and march directly to the desolation with it, and rid the world of every Knoll she can possibly find. She seems prepared to do what I would consider rather rash things to achieve her goal.
Like genocide?
Like enraging this creature that we're riding upon in order to achieve a vast amount of destruction.
I don't believe that to be a good idea at all.
I expressed that to her, but she was not very open to hearing what I had to say on the matter. I feel somewhat like a continued friendship with Ital is being held to ransom right now based upon whether or not I will manipulate this creature into achieving her end goals. Unfortunately,
Well.
we share this we share this transportation here with the Two Stones, and we have separate goals in completely opposite directions from one another.
Perhaps, but perhaps not. Ignis, you did say that your father was gone, correct?
Yes, I saw him pass into the afterlife.
I'm sorry to bring it up again, but as you are now acting Duke of Erdrick, and considering we are the only ones around, we therefore are the acting Duke's council, if I may say.
Oh my gods. Well, I guess you are. All right, council, advise me.
I do believe that we should help Ital in her needs. If we wish to reclaim Erdrick, we could possibly have the hobgoblins aid us in recovering Erdrick. However, I do not like the means at which she wishes to go by them.
I can say
Well.
one thing with absolute certainty: Ital and the Two Stones will not aid us with any matter related to Erdrick unless we first help them with their goals.
And I figure that we should do that if we wish to get their help.
We're
Well,
talking about wiping out an entire people.
Well, I mean,
We're talking very freely about wiping out an entire people.
they did seem rather violent and eager to kill us.
And so are orcs, but would you walk up to the Orc King and suggest that we kill his entire people? I mean, Hathol, you were speaking of balance not 3 hours ago, and now we're on to this.
Well,
I
Darien,
want
I do
no
see your
part of
point.
this.
I do
Well,
not believe that full genocide is a means to an end. Trust me, my people were wiped out as well, for what I know anyway. So I would not wish that upon anyone. But we will need forces in order to reclaim Erdrick.
We're
Gnolls
missing
are,
an
by their very nature, evil beings. Paladin, is it not your goal to rid this realm of evil?
By whose standard are they evil? Are they actually evil beings?
I have a method of determining that.
And
If
so
they
do
act in
I.
if they act in hostility towards you for no reason other than your simple existence, then generally speaking, they are either a mindless beast that is after food and it sees you as food, or if it is a sentient creature, then it is in fact evil.
Interesting, because what we're suggesting is killing somebody based on their very existence.
Only
Weird.
because they are a threat, not because they simply are. I should mention I've made no decision yet. While I do agree that we do need to be wonderful in some ways to have a hobgoblin band aiding us in retaking Erdrick, not to mention allies and perhaps future trading partners, to take this thing into the desolation simply to satisfy the genocidal urges of Ital and the Two Stones tribe in general, it takes us further away from our goals. It takes us further away from Erdrick. It takes us further away from Earl Reese. And I do sort of agree. Well, of a sense, I sort of agree with Darien. In this case, distance lessens the threat. The Gnolls are all the way in the desolation. They won't trouble us. I have a hard time seeing them as a threat that needs to be wiped out from the face of existence.
No, I agree with that.
And that ignores one very important point. We still don't know if we have any leverage on the creature. It may simply go south, eat some of the mountains, and settle down to a nice millennia-long slumber. If we do find out that we have control over it, there's nothing stopping it from, say, rolling over and killing us all. So while we may have control over I haven't done my experiments yet. That control may be tenuous at best.
I'd just like to point out that this is indeed a giant turtle, not a dog. Rolling over is not generally a good idea for them. I'd like to see it try to
Yes.
roll.
That would be correct.
I'd like to see it try to roll back over.
With enough momentum and something of this size generate, it could just roll over and simply land on its feet again. I've seen it happen. Turtles aren't simply helpless when they're on their backs. They can get back to their feet again.
Okay, Darien, I agree with your sentiment that the genocide of an entire species is unacceptable. I have spent many, many years working alongside the hobgoblins to protect this place from Gnoll incursion, but I agree I'll have no part in the destruction of an entire race. But I warn you, as soon as Ital understands that this is our intention, we will lose every ounce of favor and every ounce of cooperation that we may have desired at that point.
Then we hold it to ourselves for now.
Perhaps we could convince Ital to allow us to continue towards the south for now. And once we are closer, turn the creature around and leave them to try and figure out how to direct it themselves once we've left.
I have a feeling that they would be unwilling to part with you in particular, Hathol, since you can communicate with the creature and direct it, even if they have control over it, which they might not. I feel our best bet is to impress upon Ital and everyone that we are the only people who can possibly control this thing.
We have to gain the upper hand.
Because otherwise they will take the means from us and they will spend whatever time is necessary to figure it out themselves if we prove to be a hindrance more than a help.
I'm not worried about the hobgoblins feeling the need to keep me around. I only allowed myself to be bound previously by them to keep the peace. If I choose to leave, then I will leave. My devotion right now is to this group, to you, my friends. What we decide to do, we will make happen. Ital will not dictate our fate to us at this point.
Well, that is very noble, but I do want to remind you, arrows very quick.
You keep cutting out. I keep missing big chunks of your sentence.
Really?
Yeah.
Shh. How about now?
It's just your noise gate. So when you trail off, sometimes it doesn't catch, but that's fine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh God, what was I saying? Oh yeah. I think you'll find that an arrow to the knee can end any plan quite handily.
Never
My
mind.
point-
I liked it
I'm
better
sorry.
when you just meme.
I apologize for nothing.
Have you not met my friend Thunderstep?
He got enough of those to get all the way across the desert. My point is we need to make ourselves invaluable because right now we are outnumbered and we're on the back of a giant turtle.
Correct.
Can
And
I can I pose an important point to you, my
Yes.
friends?
Yes.
We are speaking of Ital's motivations and goals and genocidal tendencies here. Are you sure you wish to leave this orb in the possession of someone with such thoughts? I just leave that thought with you.
Well, my answer right away is no, but I also really do want Null allies, or not Null allies. Sorry, Hobgoblin allies, to help us retake Erdrick. So let's call stealing away with the orb in the dead of night plan C, perhaps.
Darien, you seem to have been able to make headway with conversation and with Ital. I don't wish you to press your luck anymore, but we could definitely use, dare I say it, your charm in this instance.
I can try. The fire in her eyes said that her mind was unshakable.
We have to at least convince her that we hold the cards here. In some way. And I think
Yes.
with the fact that Hathol can communicate with this beast, and if your experiment works, Ignis, we hold an upper hand, and convincing her to see things our way might be a little bit easier. Might.
Have you forgotten how swiftly she bound all of us previously?
How could I?
Do you think she would hesitate if you tried to
No.
defy her in any way?
Yes, but we need to somehow convince her and everyone that we are the only ones who hold the power over this
Yes.
creature. If not, it's back to the gallows.
Because if we hold all the power, they cannot kill us, therefore, because they are then stuck at the mercy of this beast.
Or we deprive them of a valuable weapon that I think Ital will never let go of.
Exactly.
I feel like at this point, leaving is our best option, but I shall remain with the group.
Well, let's see if we actually have control over the creature first.
Yes.
Because if we don't, then we may as well wait until we get to the spine.
The longer we continue to march away from Ital's destination, the more aggressive she will become. By this time tomorrow, she will be fully enraged with us. I'm sure of it.
You foresee that?
All right. Well,
I see
hopefully
no peaceful resolution to this situation other than us leaving quietly in the night.
Well, hopefully the experiment today proves fruitful, and if it does, then there may be another option. But if not, then I agree. We may need to steal some supplies and get away.
And if indeed we are to leave, I fully recommend taking the orb with us and perhaps giving it to Darien to take charge of. I understand your reluctance to allow me to have the orb for now, but
Bag of holding. Jeez, can you hear me?
Yes.
yeah, I
Yeah.
heard you.
Okay, good.
We're-
Okay, good.
We're reflecting.
Okay. Jeez, now you made me paranoid.
No, you're good.
All right.
We either
Also, I
make
don't
great allies or we make great enemies. In the
Seems to
coming-
never be a middle ground where we just have mild acquaintances that we.
And now we totally
Seems to
lost
be.
you.
Oh God. God damn it. All right. Automatically determine sensitivity.
I wouldn't worry about that. We're gonna
All
wrap
right,
this
all right.
up here in a couple seconds. I think
Okay.
this discussion can continue on the next episode here. Night has officially fallen on the wandering city of Adis. There are some things that you guys have planned to do, and we will address those on the next episode. So thank you guys for playing tonight. I think there's a couple of things that we can do here. Get back in the Two Stones' good graces. I think that's still sitting on a knife edge here as a group goal. You made some good headway, and then we took a couple steps back with Ital at least. Party overcomes the needs of self. I think we're still sitting on that one. And cure Ignis of the effects of the Akaris' curse. It seems like there's something going on here, but they're definitely not cured just yet. Ignis, identify the artifact. You did indeed identify the artifact. You cast your identify spell. Go ahead and take 50 experience points for casting identify.
Hooray!
Yep. So that one's gone. You have return Earl Reese war camp with Tasir alive and escape Adis with entire party and Tasir alive. Okay, so that's still in work.
Working on it.
Obtain divine knowledge of brothers. Sorry, this is Miara's now. Obtain divine knowledge of brothers' whereabouts. Haven't done. Familiarize yourself and retrieve the javelin. Yeah, javelin was retrieved.
Yay!
Pretty easy thing to do. You just had to go talk to some people that
Honestly,
wanted to
thought
go
it was
get
gonna
it
be
for you.
way more difficult. Thought I was gonna have to
Yeah.
like Mission Impossible my way in there.
Yeah, it was relatively easily done. So go ahead and take 75 for that one.
Dope.
And Darien, familiarize yourself with desert terrain. Still in work. Evaluate Tasir's health after being in the thrall of the beholder. It kind of did so. I mean, you attempted to heal her again, and you used the orb, but I don't think there was an evaluation done. It looked Miara spent most of the session with Tasir and going to the druids and things like that. So I'm not sure if I don't think you did evaluation of that thing today. You did get Ignis access to the artifact, so well done on that one. That was slightly harder. Go ahead and take 100 for it.
Yeah.
Yep, you got him access. Hathol, demonstrate commitment to the party. You wanted to prove the party comes first. Okay, so party, this is still on you guys. Has Hathol proved party comes first?
I still say yes.
Okay. That's one.
I think yes.
You think Darien's been swayed?
Yeah.
Okay. Miara as well?
I think so.
All right, go ahead and take 500 for... Wait, no, I said it was 750 if you did all three of them. So go ahead and take 750. You've demonstrated your commitment to the party
Yay,
by also
Hathol!
abandoning your faith. So what's going to be interesting? Assist 2 stones in recovering their history. Sort of. It's in work. I'm not exactly sure what extent of the history you're working on helping to recover. You guys made some headway with the artifact, but I'm not. Hathol, does that satisfy what you wanted to do here?
No.
Okay. Learn about the other aspects in history and the aspects of their politics. You had a great discussion with Darien today. Do you think Hathol's satisfied with what he learned today, or do you think he wants some more?
He wants more, for sure.
All right, cool. So that takes care of our goals for today. So you guys have some open ones that you'll need to address before next week. Thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. We're gonna do some shout outs now. Rel, where can the people find you at?
Woo! Well, when I am not playing Ignas Erdrick and identifying ancient and powerful magical artifacts, you can find me at youtube.com/relplays. Currently, I am finishing up a blind let's play, in fact, of Hollow Knight. It's getting into the end game, currently in the White Palace. You can also find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/relplays. I stream very randomly because I don't have a lot of time to commit to streaming, and so I just do it when I can. You can also follow me at Twitter, at RelLet'sPlay, and on Instagram, rel.plays.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Tom Like a Fox, where can people find you at?
Yeah, you can find me most of the week over at twitch.tv/TomLikeAFox. Variety streaming, focusing heavily on competitive FPS games. And 2 nights a week, you can find me at twitch.tv/Paladins Challenge, where I will be casting esports tournaments for the foreseeable future.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. And good luck on the casting, man.
Thanks.
Rob, where can the people find you at?
Whoa, in about, I don't know, like 8 or so minutes over on my channel, twitch.tv/bonus_stage_Rob, where I am doing apparently more Super Smash Brothers because there was a whole other thingy that I didn't know there was going to be. So that's a whole thing. If you, the story mode, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a lot more to it than I anticipated. So I'm going to be banging out more of that tonight. But you can also find me on Twitter, where sometimes I tweet silly things at Bonus Stage Rob. It's been a lot of Smash Mouth lately. I feel like
Yeah, I saw that.
it's an important year. All-Star turns 20, so I feel like the world needs to know. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a mess. Follow me.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. Professor Saccharum, where can people find you at?
Well, when I finally do get back to streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/prof_Saccharum, where I play Pokemon. I play most Nintendo things, and I'll probably be doing a Kingdom Hearts 3 playthrough at some point. But until then, you could find me at twitter.com/ or at prof_Saccharum. There you go. And supporting all of these fine gentlemen in their chats. So take it away, Robo.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate you playing today. Hi, I'm Runaway Robot, also known as Joel. The biggest thing for me this week is going to be tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be playing this, the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. I'll be playing Ravnica over on Encounter Roleplay. That's twitch.tv/Encounter Roleplay. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to about 8 p.m. I'll be over there. I'll be playing Cyrus Elsvolt, a Simic hybrid human base rogue. So he has like ape hands for feet, so he can climb really well. But
Nice.
It's going to be really cool. If you haven't seen anything on Ravnica yet, definitely stop by. We're doing a lot of like featuring on the new system, the new world, I guess. And that's kind of the big thing. Other than that, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be doing the regular stream here. We're going to continue Divinity Original Sin 2. And that's kind of it. So thank you, everyone, for playing today. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We should be playing next Sunday, I think. I think we're good to go on that. So unless otherwise told on Twitter or something like that, we'll be here, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Sunday. And until then, later.
Bye.
Later.